Hey guys, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Flash episode 4 video. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. They did so much comic book stuff. This was amazing. Welcome to the new rogues, like Mirror Master and Top crowned themselves the new kings of the city because Captain Cold is gone. I'll explain what they were talking about because, they use Captain Cold in the episode, even though, spoilers for Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, he's off doing other things. So I'll explain the timeline and what's going on with that because it's a little confusing with Flashpoint. But here we go, top 10 WTF Easter eggs. There were so many comic book things happening in this episode. So many oh shit moments. Like, I can't believe they're doing this. So number 10, the birth of Mirror Master. So this is Flashpoint Mirror Master. So, we can guess as to whether or not he would have existed before Flashpoint. But the way they explain it is that the particle accelerator goes off as he's in the middle of a, rogue war of sorts with Captain Cold. He, along with everybody else in the room, gets hit with the blast wave. Captain Cold barely gets out, and he's trapped for 3 years. So, really important thing, number 9 WTF, when they're looking at the footage of the rival dying, we know that it's probably not Mirror Master now because he had not climbed out of the mirror when the rival was killed. So he couldn't be working with Dr. Alchemy yet, but that doesn't mean that he won't eventually run afoul of Alchemy. It seems like Alchemy knows about everything that's going on in the city, so eventually you cross paths with him, Zoom style. Like in the way last year that Zoom had turned all the metas or killed them. Like either you're with me or you're against me, and if you're against me, I'm gonna kill you. So eventually Mirror Master and Top will have to do something with Alchemy. But the interesting thing about, the person that killed the rival, because they're like, could it be somebody that has different types of powers? Iris is the only person who's thinking ahead. Although they don't say Savitar, I think that's who it's going to wind up being because the gauntlet is not Dr. Alchemy's gauntlet that's grabbing him by the neck. But the thing is that they're teasing stories out bit by bit, like giving you clues episode by episode. So if you follow them closely enough, you can see, like when they do the big reveal, you'll be like, oh, well, they teased this in this episode. So I'll mention that with respect to like Killer Frost and some of the other ongoing storylines as we go through the video. But number 7, meet the Top. So the Top in the comics is a man. They just gender bent him and made it a little more clear that she is a metahuman too, who just induces vertigo. It was a pretty interesting effect, but the way you're viewing it, like she doesn't actually warp space in that way. You're just seeing it from that person's perspective. It seems like from Jesse Quick's perspective in Mirror Master, like when she tests it out on Mirror Master, show me what you can do. It seems like the world is warping around you, Inception style, but that's only happening inside your mind. Like she's not so powerful that she can warp 3-dimensional space. But number 6, Barry and Jesse training montage. Jesse Quick getting a little bit better. Obviously, she's going back to Earth 2, so the next time we see her, she'll have a little more practice, probably be a little bit better. But I love the way they had Barry run upside down. Like they just have a lot of fun running inside the particle accelerator. And I really love the big brother dynamic that he has with Jesse Quick. I feel like he'll get better at that with time as the Flash family grows. Like he's kind of a big brother to Jesse Quick, but he really is more like Wally's big brother just because he's such a part of Joe's family. So the Wally storyline is like a whole separate thing. They barely touched on it in this episode. So number 5, like the relationship-y stuff that ran across everyone's storylines. So you have Barry and Iris. Obviously, they're going there. It's like very clear they're moving Barry into a separate apartment so they can start getting naked together. Joe is even being hit on by this other person here. Her name is Cecily. And obviously the Wally-Jesse thing is happening too. So you definitely know that Jesse's coming back if they're teasing that out. So we'll circle back around to that. But just, the idea is that all the dudes in all these relationships, Joe, Barry, Wally, are all afraid to move forward just because they're afraid of losing whatever it is that they're gaining. Like Wally's afraid of losing Jesse Quick because she's on a completely separate Earth. Barry has never had everything that he's always wanted, so he's terrified by that. He'll have so much more to lose now. Anytime things get really happy, everyone gets comfortable, that's when you should be the most worried. But number 4, very worried about Earth 19 Harrison Wells, called HR, who's just a little too funny to trust. The Harrison Wells multiverse audition, this was so great because Harrison Wells from Earth 2, we'll call him Harry, is having some FOMO, like he really will miss the people from Star Labs, but he is being honest when he says he doesn't trust this Harrison Wells. So running down the list, this is really cool. Some of these are Easter eggs from the comics. Wild West Harrison Wells is just meant to be kind of funny. Earth 17 Harrison Wells, who calls his Earth Terra Prime, is actually in the comics is an Earth that's subject to really terrible nuclear wars that gives rise to the widespread proliferation of mutants. So it's basically like this worst case scenario type Earth. Like things are really bad there. We have French Harrison Wells, who's a mime, not necessarily a comic book Easter egg, but definitely annoying. Earth 19 Harrison Wells is also a comic book thing. So Earth 19 is basically like an Earth that's a century behind in development. So it's basically like an old-timey looking version of Earth 1. But in terms of this crazy version of Harrison Wells, he just seems too over the top to be for real. So I feel like something's gonna go sideways and Earth 2 Harrison Wells will come back eventually to take his rightful place in the team. But anytime something seems too good to be true, like they definitely slap you in the face with teasers, like Killer Frost is a good example. They made it very clear which direction they're headed with her character, so I feel like they're kind of slapping you in the face with the weirdness of Earth 19 Harrison Wells, saying that, yeah, something is definitely going to happen with him and it's not going to be good. But number 3, The Flash versus Mirror Master, Jesse versus the Top. Awesome takedowns. Really like the way they did the special effects. It's going to be a lot of fun, and he'll definitely be back this season. Anytime someone's not killed at the end of an episode, they always come back. Just remember, Dr. Alchemy is sitting in the shadows. He'll probably have something to do with Mirror Master getting out. Number 2 was Caitlin saving the day, getting Barry out of the mirror. The important thing to note here is that Barry did not see her do it, but my number 1 WTF post-credit scene, this was like the oh shit moment where she accidentally freezes the shower, her lips turn blue, her hair starts to turn white, and she tries to cut it out. So you can see where they're headed with this. She's not going to be able to hide it. Eventually, the episode 7 is called Killer Frost. That's when things will probably reach a head. And you'll see like full-blown Killer Frost, whether or not they take it back in the back half of the season. Because part of the problem with doing Killer Frost stuff is that it requires extensive makeup, so it's really cumbersome, so they might find a way to kind of bring her down a little bit, but whatever ends up happening, I do think they'll give us full-blown Killer Frost, like an oh shit moment where she just goes completely blue, and then they'll find a way to give us a version of Caitlin that takes that back before season 4 starts. But let me know in the comments, what was your favorite moment? What do you think is going on with weirdo Earth 19 Harrison Wells? He is such a weirdo. That is totally going sideways. But can we just freak out about Killer Frost? This is going to be so much fun. I love Danielle Panabaker, so I'm so excited to see her get this crazy arc this season. The only other Easter eggs that I noticed, there was actually a big Mirror Master Easter egg because Harrison Wells said the Evan McCullough Mirror Master was from Earth 2. He's basically the second version of the character. He talks about the mirror gun. The other one was the Cisco Riddler shout out when he talks about the riddle that they put on the board for the other Harrison Wells to solve. So, ongoing storylines that you need to keep track of. There were kind of like the Savitar teasers at the beginning of the episode. What if there's another superhero that can do different things? The other one was Mirror Master and Top taking up the mantle of the Rogues because the traditional Rogue characters, Captain Cold, Heatwave, they're off on Legends of Tomorrow. So just to explain that, Captain Cold died during Season 1, but Flashpoint time travel kind of brings him back. He will be part of the Legion of Doom, while Heatwave is traveling with the Legends. But that's all happening on Legends. Captain Cold will come back to the Flash eventually, but in roundabout ways like you saw in this episode. So effectively, the Flash has kind of cycled the membership of the Rogues, and now Mirror Master is leading the team. But what'll happen is I'll do like a Flash trailer video tomorrow. I also want to do like a fake Punisher Ghost Rider team-up trailer, like a Marvel Hearts of Darkness, just for fun, so look out for that. And as for Arrow, it seems like interest level has been like falling in Arrow videos, so I might not do Arrow episode videos until we get to the mid-season crossover. Like, I'm not going to be doing Supergirl videos in the same way, but I will do like Fortnite crossover videos. It's just for the stuff that people aren't super interested in. I'm not going to do every single episode. But if there's something really crazy, like I might do a Miss Martian video for Supergirl, even if I don't do a video for the entire episode. So no worries, I'm still doing a lot of comic book TV videos, but just in slightly different ways. And I'm still doing videos for all the episodes of The Flash. Walking Dead just started, I'm doing videos for all of that. There's still, still a lot of TV stuff happening. So don't worry, like if you have big questions, I'll try to answer those in the comments. But get hyped, there's so much comic book stuff happening this week. And there is a new round of the DC giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. So that trailer video should post early tomorrow morning. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click up top to learn all about the Punisher Season 1 cast, the Punisher Max storyline, Defenders crossover, and you can click down here for all my other Flash videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.